Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another episode of my Belize vacation here at the Grand Caribe Resort. So, if you haven't already guessed what this episode's about, it's about swimming with the sharks at the barrier reef over along the coast of Belize, a little bit of Mexico and Guatemala. So, anyways, I started off my day kind of eating a pretty good Belizean breakfast. I knew it was going to be, at least for me, an exhausting day, even though it was just a half day of activity. I kind of show you in the next video here.
All right. I think this is what, day three of our trip to the island here. I ordered some Belizean breakfast service, cream cheese, and show the French toast. There you go. Complimentary coffee I made. Made myself some toast. Gonna have some jam, some pineapple juice, maybe some milk. Gonna go scuba diving. No, not scuba, snorkeling. I'm gonna swim with the sharks here. And this is interesting. This is Belizean bread thing. I'm not sure. It's fried. Some kind of fried tortilla, seems like. Oh. All right. Anyway, about 7:30 in the morning. I have to go to the dock by 8:15, so just want to have a good healthy breakfast. It's gonna be a half-day trip.
So after a good breakfast, we made our way down to the dock. I'm sure you've seen the previous episode where I talk about the whole area at Grand Caribe Resort. Give you a guided tour. So that's me. Do you recognize me? I'm sure you do from my Rad Power Bikes video and everything. Yep, that's me. And essentially, what I got on, other than my buff and my hat that I usually wear, wearing a buff. I'm not the only one wearing a buff. When I went down there, there's other people who are locals that wear buffs because you get a lot of sun. I also wore my base layer, which is the long t-shirt. It's a compression t-shirt, but it's oversized, so it fits like a regular t-shirt, just to cover your body. You can get a sunburn really quick, even though it's winter. So there's no winter in Belize, by the way. So it doesn't really get that cold. Although it stayed, 70s to 80s is not too bad. Felt like 90s sometimes. What I have there is my Radiaction chest mount. And if you notice, I got two Insta360s in the waterproof housing. Now, the waterproof housing only goes up to maybe about 3 meters. So it's not like I can go deep scuba diving, but where we're going, it's not that deep. And I have two because the way I have it set up is I turn one off and I move it to the right or to the left side. And then I can have the one that's actually on the chest mount. And then I can go back and forth. I have that little metal piece where I swivel. I can swivel it left and right. So I technically had 72 minutes, 144 minutes of record time, which I didn't use. But that was my setup. Ready to go scuba diving?
Yeah. Guess that's what we're gonna do.
All right, here we are. So hope you enjoyed that little boat ride. that's what it sounds like to ride on a boat. Very loud and splashy and windy. Anyways, we made it to the dock here, and this is not far away from San Pedro. It's actually in San Pedro, very close to the water taxi dock. Not that far. You could just literally walk there in less than a minute, walk to the water taxi dock. So we're basically in San Pedro at this point. But this is where the scuba diving company is. And that's the name of the scuba diving company, Ambergris Divers. I guess you could go ahead and look them up. There are a lot of diving companies there. This one is a PADI certified diving company. This was set up by the concierge at Grand Caribe Resort. If you go to Grand Caribe, they may or may not set up with the same company. You know, it depends how busy they are, but there's enough companies out there that, you know, they'll, if you need a scuba dive or snorkeling out to the reef, they can accommodate you. And after you sign your waivers and give them all the paperwork, there's paperwork involved, I know. You'll probably need to get fitted with some equipment. Now, if you don't have equipment, I didn't bring in equipment because I'm not gonna, you know, bring unwanted. It's either bring my clothes and stuff that I would normally do when I travel, or bring scuba gear. Well, I brought my clothes, but they do have all the equipment that you need. There's fins right there, as you see. And then there's, you know, your breathers and your BCs and other stuff and your regulators and all that. They even have tanks, of course. So you can go there without any equipment. Just realize it's rental or used equipment, you know. But this stuff you usually just rent anyway. So it's not a big deal. And of course, they also, I forgot to mention, they also have snorkel stuff there as well. But you see more fins and you see the BCs and everything up there. Maybe you need some weights, I'm not sure. So it depends where you're going. Now, I will say this about the equipment. You have to realize that there's a lot of people that use this equipment and it gets used very well. And just to let you know, the snorkel that I got, the diaphragm wasn't working. And I'll have videos of it later in this video where you see me like blow into it constantly because the diaphragm was leaking and I was getting water into the snorkel. And you hear me, you could hear it in the video. But I kept blowing out of it like crazy. The mask, the goggles was leaking as well, especially around the nose. So I constantly had to readjust it, open it up, and plus it does get foggy even though they put soap in it. Oh yeah, maybe coral reef creatures of the Belize. Hopefully we'll be seeing some of these fishes. Fishies or fishes? Or fishes?
I think it's just fish.
So after getting all the paperwork done, getting fitted for the fins and the snorkel, well, actually just the fins, they give you the fins. The snorkel and the mask they give you when you go out to the reef. But since we're going to be waiting around, and I'll give you this little video, and I'm sure you'll appreciate it. It's something that I experienced while waiting around, and you'll get to wait around with me.
The other one's going to work. The other one's going to go oh, yeah. I was just saying that I've been playing over water dealer. I need that.
All right, we're on the boat. We're on the boat now, and we're about to, looks like, pick up a few more people, and then head on out to the reef. Go fishing. Not fishing, but snorkeling.
So as you saw, we were going around picking up different people from the different hotels and resorts, and that's how they pull all the. That's how they pull enough people to get a full half-day activity event going. As you see, this is Belize. You've probably seen some other YouTubers kind of show this off in their video. This is a little bit south of San Pedro. Where I was at Grand Caribe was way up north, and so I just wanted to just take a little picture of that. So we finally made it, and this is the time that I want to mention that if you are going to go snorkeling, scuba diving, or go out into the ocean or on a boat, please take your motion sickness pills. That was my mistake, and you'll see that it was a good mistake because guess what I did? I did throw up, but I fed the sharks, and that's why I was able to get a good video of all these sharks, because we were just waiting around for the sharks to come by, and no, nothing happened until I threw up, by the way. But please take your motion sickness pills, and that way you can enjoy your scuba diving. But we finally made it out to the reef, and you'll see all these. You see all those boats right there? Well, those are all the other scuba diving boats. So there is a ton of them. So before anybody can actually go into the water, I think there's some kind of, conservation reserve kind of thing that Belize does. So when you go there, you kind of have to pay a fee. And I guess that money goes to conservation and preservation of the reef so that you and I and anybody else that goes there can enjoy it. And so this is the person that's there. You give them like a ticket. I guess that ticket shows that you paid a fee. Then they give you other tickets or bands or something. And then you're done and you're ready to go in. And also, just to give you an idea how clear that water was out there, they do, I think, a pretty good job of hopefully conservation and preservation of that reef, because the water really is clear, really blue. And in the next video, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can actually see something. You can see something right there, Ted. Isn't that amazing? All right, so we finally made it into the water, but before we went into the water, you're given some idea of what's going to happen. They give you snorkels and they give you a mask, but like I said, a lot of people use those things and they get worn down very well. And so if anything, if you did want to if you're going snorkeling, at least snorkeling, I don't know about scuba diving, but if you are going scuba diving as well, if you did want to bring your equipment, at least bring your mask and your snorkel, because the ones that they give you that are the rentals, they're worn and they don't really work that well, because the mask I got kept leaking around the nose, and so I was inhaling salt water, and the water was very salty. The snorkel that I got was, the diaphragm was leaking, so as I was breathing in, some of the seawater kept leaking in, and I was getting short of breath, and so I had to blow really hard to blow the water out of the snorkel and blow the diaphragm back out, but it would just keep leaking as well. So if anything, bring a mask and a snorkel that works really well, because the ones that give you as rental may not work as good. So in the video that's coming up, I'm basically going to be in the water, and the sound is pretty much exactly what you would hear when you're underwater. Well, I had earwax or swimmer's earwax. It's just this waxy substance that you stick in your ear so water won't go in your ear. I do recommend that. And pretty much, the sound you're hearing is pretty much the sound that I hear. You don't hear a lot underwater. You hear, the water sounds. So I just want to let you know about that. You'll see some reef, you'll see some fish, and then see some other things as well. Oh, and if you did want to know, this was shot on the Insta360 I. I didn't use the 360 degree, function. I used just the front camera, and it wasn't set on stabilization because it doesn't work really well, to be honest with you. This was just a lot better to use. All right, so here you'll see scuba divers. So the scuba divers were like at the bottom, swimming around. The snorkelers were at the top, but it's not that deep. Some areas you'll get down to 30 feet. I never saw an area where it was more than 30 feet. It never went to 60 feet. So most of the time it was mostly, I would say, 10 feet, maybe 15 feet, and then some parts got to 30 feet. But if you're snorkeling, you could easily just hold your breath and swim down that deep. I chose not to because my ears don't equalize that well, and I did used to scuba dive when I was much younger, and I would have an issue where one of my right side of my ears would bleed, which I think also the reason why I have tinnitus in my right ear as well. But you'll see here, people were scuba diving, but it wasn't that deep, maybe 10 to 15 feet. This is where also you'll see some sharks, and you'll see that in this video coming up. Sea life here are so used to people, they'll just swim right next to you, literally. Now, there was a turtle, but I can't find the footage of the turtle. So when I was there was a turtle. I guess I don't know if that's a big deal to you or not. There was also an eel hiding under a rock and some more sharks. You'll see the shark here in this footage, and then the guy who was giving the tour, guiding us through the reef. He swam down and he was pointing at an eel under a rock, which only one person went down there, but it's okay. I didn't need to go down that deep. So finally, we made it to another location. So that was the reef. We get to swim around. And then we went to another area where this is the nursing shark. This is where you swim with the sharks. Now, they're not great whites. They're not man-eating sharks or anything like that. They're just nursing sharks. I mean, they could maybe, hurt you, maybe. But for the most part, no, I don't think you can get hurt. People come here all the time and they touch these sharks and literally hug them and everything. You're that close. This is where I threw up my Belizean breakfast, and this one right here, as you can see right here, this Belizean breakfast right here, this one that I ate this morning, that's what the sharks are eating, because I literally just threw up, and next thing I know, all these fish and sharks started coming, and they were there for a while. They were there for a long time. So enjoy the videos of the sharks. It's going to be a long video of the sharks. Hopefully you'll stick around to the end.
Come down here, Mom. Come down here, Mom.
All right. I just threw up our lunch, our breakfast, and all of a sudden the sharks started coming this way, so I'm okay.
Guys, don't get too close, guys.
I threw it on a shark's head.
I don't feel like swimming with the sharks right now.
Grandma, are you taking pictures?
Stay far away, guys. Stay far away. Give them his space, all right? Give them their space, all right?
Had in their urine. I touched the show, literally. I touched the
My lady, you can come a little closer. Take off your face. You're going in the water?
going in, but
I'm trying to get away from it. Take off your face. Come here, all right? If you're not going in.
Hey, boy! Hey, boy! Woo! Hey, boy, come look at it! I have one.
What they say is you can touch the dorsal fin back, but don't touch the mouth. But if it's sort of tuck fin and behind, you do that. Isn't that awesome? It's like sandpaper.
Did Mama get in here? Mama? Auntie?
Yeah. Guys, be careful, guys. The boat's moving. Don't stay too close, guys. You're going to scare them away.
Oh my god, I pet so. And there's like a snake right in there. Here, look up. Aaron.
Shit. Guys, don't get too close, guys. You're gonna scare them away. Hello. Stay back, guys. Stay back.
Fish, because that's all they want to eat, fish. Okay? They want to eat.
Yes. No shark.
Well, I guess throwing up overboard ain't too bad. You get all the sharks that come over. Well, I guess you don't have to go in the water to see them. They're close enough.
Guys, don't get too close, guys. Not too close. Not too close, guys. Move on. Watch out, guys. Watch out. Nice and slow.
Back up the table.
Yeah, we just want to defeat one.
Just let them feed one. Okay.
They're beautiful. Look. Okay, where are we going?
Careful there, guys. Careful. Hello. Guys, be careful there. Don't get in. Not feeding frenzy there.
Don't go too close to it.
Yeah. Oh, look, they're hungry. And where have you been? I'm hungry. Oh, look at big boy.
Hi, Mom. You know, like, I pet her now.
Oh, yes.
Now you're okay, right? Now you're okay.
I'm
Look at the big one. They're right there by their mouth.
Karen. Right there.
Get someone. Spread it out so it'll be like, you know, spread it out.
He said put it by their mouths.
Don't get too close, guys.
Yes, sir.
All right, ready? Whatever. Oh, put it right there.
Oh, damn. Oh, sorry. Oh, they're so pretty. They just in a bundle now. Look how big. Pretty.
Okay, so they're not gonna feed them anymore, but if you guys want to watch them, just watch them.
Thanks everyone for sticking around to the end. Appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And I have more videos, believe it or not. I'll have another video where we come back into town, San Pedro, before we go back to Grand Caribe. And I'll show you a little tour around town. We didn't go that far. We just stayed very close near the scuba diving place, Ambergris divers, and I'll give you a sense of what San Pedro, the town, is like, and a lot of hotels are around that area too, in downtown San Pedro, in the San Pedro area. And so, you know, we didn't stay in that area. We stayed up north, a little bit more secluded, at Grand Caribe Resort. So, anyways, give a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Bye.